Funny, who cares?
Well, this next guy, I wasn't a fan. He made a terrible life decision, but I'm not going to judge him
probably
for it.
liked
He
it.
was 18. He was 18.
Terrible life decision.
Leroy.
Preacher Leroy Hoard. What's up, my man?
Leroy, did you like when Baker
What's happening?
Did you like when Baker stuck the flag in Ohio State? You probably like that, right?
I never really talked a whole bunch of trash because there was too many moving parts. And I couldn't initiate contact. So I wasn't a trash talker, but I don't have a problem with guys that talk trash, but you got to be careful with what position you play when you talk trash, because when those receipts come, a quarterback don't get those receipts. But your O-line does.
Not to mention Baker's
wide
the guy
receivers
who can dish
do.
it out but can't take it, clearly.
Your running backs do, right? And I'll give you a perfect example. When Myles Garrett got in trouble for that Pittsburgh Steelers situation, right? Name another quarterback that does what Rudolph does. I'll give you a second. None.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Because a quarterback does not put his team in harm's way. And the fact that he went over there like he was going to do something, and now you got to go defend your quarterback, that's what escalated that situation. So as a quarterback, you have to be careful not to put your team in harm's way, because those receipts are not coming to the quarterback. They come into all the other guys that can actually get hit.
And that's everybody on the offense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leroy.
Because if your quarterback get hit, you feel like if your quarterback get hit or pushed or shoved and you don't go over there and defend your quarterback, who's supposed to be your star, your leader, if you don't go over there and defend him, now it's on you.
Yeah, right.
So you have to do it.
And you know what's coming. Hey, listen, the topic of the day, obviously, is we're all on Watson Watch. That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. It appears that our wait could be over soon, though. There's a lot of reports yesterday that the NFL and the NFLPA are actively negotiating a settlement. There are new reports today that say that Peter C. Harvey has not communicated with the NFL. This isn't a thing where the decision, if the decision is in, the NFL doesn't know about it at least.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I said too. I immediately shook my head when I heard that. But what do you make of this news?
Jay.
Yeah.
Let me explain something to you. If I hire you to do some work for me,
Yep.
we're going to be communicating during that process.
I'm the employee. You're
That's for
absolutely
anybody.
Right. You're right.
Right?
Yes.
You don't have a guy come over and do some work on your house, and then the next time you talk to him, he call you and say it's done.
Right.
No.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
I ain't buying it.
I mean, that's
because it's not independent.
You're right.
Right? It
You're
was
right. He's a lead
Roger
guy.
Goodell appointed him.
Yeah, and he's a lead guy.
So what does that mean?
You're right.
He's going to be in line with your thinking.
Why would they put that out there then? Because probably that piece of it was probably leaked by the league.
Because they don't think we're smart enough to figure it out.
Right.
Let's be clear.
Right.
Let's be clear. How many times do you hear something on TV and they go, "Oh, this dude must think I'm an idiot"?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All the time.
And especially with this. I mean, come on.
Yes. Don't fall for it, folks. Don't do it. You know what's up. You adults, figure it out.
Yeah.
Didn't have any conversations. You fool.
Can we
Y'all
send that
can fall
clip to
for
the NFL?
Hey, Leroy. That's like you come home at 2 a.m. You married and you ain't had no conversations before you went to bed with your wife. That conversation's happening, buddy. You better make that up.
Hey, it might not be a conversation. It might be some paperwork. There's gonna be some communication.
Leroy, to get to a different topic about the Browns, you know, the running back room. First of all, how did you feel that they did in that first preseason game?
Look, I liked it. You know what? That whole room seems to play football a certain way, right? Regardless of who's in there. Now, every running back does things a little bit different, right? But when you see a style in which they play, that is on the coaches. That's on, Stump Mitchell, right? The message is very clear how we going to do things in this room. And they all have bought in because they all run the ball extremely hard. They're aggressive. They don't mess around. There's not a whole bunch of running around. Everybody getting it. And that could also come from watching Nick Chubb.
Yeah,
watching Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to be on this team, this is how you got to play.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But not only that, I mean, it's a great point about Nick Chubb. I was just thinking the same thing, Leroy, especially like just the way he carries himself too. Like he don't mess around.
They
He don't
all
talk
seem to
any
do
trash. He don't mess around. He don't celebrate. He just kicks your ass on the field and makes no big deal about it.
And guess what? They all do it.
Yeah.
Look, they all see what the benchmark is in that room.
Yep.
That's Nick Chubb. And you know, if you want to be a part of this, you better be in line with how this man does things.
That's right.
That's just a fact. That's what having leadership on a team is. He don't have to be outspoken. He don't have to tell you what you did wrong. But Nick could give you that look and say, hey, get in line, bruh. Right? This is how we do things in this room.
That's right.
You're going to represent this room in a way that everybody going to know where we coming from. And so from that standpoint, when you go to Jerome Ford, you go to Kareem Hunt, you go even further down the line, they all seem to have this certain style that they run with, even though they all have different skill sets.
Great.
And so it's good to watch. Because guess what? The coach need to go in that room and say, hey, I don't care who it is, but we're going to have some weight on us for part of this season. We're going to have some heat on us. Accept the challenge. I don't care how deep we got to go. I don't care how far down we got to go on the depth chart. Everybody be ready because we're going to need everybody because we're going to have to run the football consistently and on a daily basis. And I think when you watch them play and you watch how they do things, the message is loud and clear.
Leroy, let me ask you this question. Coach Stefanski has already been on record. He said you're not going to see many of the starters. Do you agree with that to a certain extent, and especially when you talk about Jacoby Brissett? Because I thought I would have played him last game. I'm kind of confused at what's going on here with these snaps. He's not going to play this game either. Is you cool with that?
I have an ongoing argument with anybody who will listen. The only people that really don't need to be in there that much are the running backs. And here's why. Because once you get a feel for the speed and the level of contact, you can shut it down till the season starts. So whether that's 5-10 carries, throughout the preseason, just to get an idea of how you working with the O-line, how you working with, the rest of the offense. That's it. You need live action though. There's nobody that plays this game that can just come back from the offseason and play football. There's a reason why you have camp. You got to get your body ready for being tackled, to block, to catch the ball with people on you. All these receivers that look pretty in shorts and tights with the bandanas and the bucket hats in the offseason. How you going to catch the ball when somebody going to adjust your teeth? You see what I mean? We used to call them, those camp Pro Bowlers, mini camp. They run across the middle, right? And we just sit in the back and shake our heads. Woo, I can't wait till you get hit. Because we'll see, then them arms, all of a sudden, he had the reach of a condor, and now he like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? Soon as there's contact, you got to work through all that. That's what football is.
Alligator.
You have to work through that. As far as a quarterback and the receivers, it's hard to get an actual idea of how much time you have to throw the ball unless you can be sacked for real. Right?
Yeah.
The time limit, there's no time limit if you ain't getting hit. Hell, if I wasn't going to get hit, I'd be looking good. Right? Hey, you can't hit me. I got the orange jersey on.
Yeah.
But when you get in the game action and that guy coming off the edge trying to get a job or trying to get a contract, that time shrinks. So I think everybody needs to get something out of these preseason games. And the argument I have with everybody is that there's only one way to get ready for football. That's to play football. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But these baseball players and basketball, everybody got soft in sports. I don't know if it's because of the investment. I don't know what it is. Because guess what? If a pitcher throw 5 innings, everybody's celebrating.
Not me.
I'm like, when I was a kid, the pitcher pitched till the end of the game or until he couldn't throw no more. He seemed to do okay.
The good old days.
We have a whole bunch of guys having Tommy John surgery.
Facts.
Now, as soon as they get tweaked, as soon as you see a pitcher with a sore arm, what you say? Uh-oh, Tommy John, he's going to come back stronger. Never failed.
That is
so,
right.
I don't know what has happened through sports. I mean, I used to have season tickets to the Cavs, right? I knew when I was going to a game, I'm seeing all the stars. Ain't nobody getting ready for the playoffs or January or an extra break before all. They playing all the game, and they did fine. Nobody was blowing anything out.
Seems like there's more injuries now.
I don't know where we got this, where all of a sudden we got soft. I'm like, listen, I played 5 preseason games, and I played in all of them. And the last preseason game when I played was the dress rehearsal. So not only did you play the first half, you went in, you made some adjustments, you played a couple of series in the second half. Yeah. And guess what? I averaged 14 games a year. And I wasn't, and guess what? You could get horse collared. You could get cleaned up on picks.
Clothesline.
You could get knocked out. Cracked backs. All that was fair game. Now, maybe I see spots every now and then, but I did okay. right?
You have conversations with yourself here and there.
Yeah.
Right. So what? I can have a full conversation with myself when I'm sitting in the room. That's okay. Right? But guess what?
Money, Leroy.
As far as health, right? I had the health of a football player. Banged up, broken up, but was still able to play. That's football. You ain't gonna never be 100% healthy.
Leroy.
So I don't understand why. Look, first of all, if you're gonna play in a preseason game, you play in the first one, in the second one. Okay? Now you can even play in the third one because you got an extra week off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know what are we protecting? Because here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna have this conversation after about week 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. Here's what the conversation is gonna be. Hey Leroy, you think the Browns look sloppy and don't look all together because they haven't played football?
Yep.
That conversation's gonna come throughout the whole league. Unless you got a veteran team. Now, I will say this. The defense is a different story. Okay? Those guys have been together. Those guys know what's up. But the offense, with all the new moving parts, you know, you got to get some action. You have to. I didn't always like it. I didn't always like playing in the preseason. But I knew after I got tackled a couple of times, you know, after I got, you know, you got to burn off. Look, I don't care how much you work out in the summer. That first week of camp is hell. Your legs are so sore, right? And you got to fight through that. That's part of camp. If you never go through that, guess when you go through it? Week 2.
Right.
So there's a certain process to getting ready for football that you need to go through. Now, me personally, I only know one way, and that was the way that I did it. Mm-hmm. But I do know this, that soreness comes to everybody during camp. I don't care how much you run. I don't care how much you prepare in the off season. After like day 3 or 4, everybody's looking for that ice tub because your legs are dead and you got to fight through it. So you spend the next couple of weeks, preseason games, getting your mind right, your game prep and all that, fighting through it. So you're ready at the start of the season. The last few years with everybody sitting out all of training camp, everybody starts off slow. Right? We've seen, how many times have we said, Aaron Rodgers, this is it for Aaron Rodgers. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. And he say, relax. Yeah, because you ain't played no football all year, and now you're trying to fix it during the season.
Well, he's also a D-bag. We would admit that, right?
Hey, let me explain something to you. And I'm going to say this with all sincerity. You can call him what you want. But if Aaron Rodgers was showing up at your door to play for your team, you going to give him his flowers.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give him his flowers, and I'll
Okay. Big boy.
He never gets criticized for it. He chokes in the playoffs every year, and he never gets criticized.
Hey,
yeah.
Let's put on our big boy pants, bull.
I got my big boy pants on.
No, I said big boy pants, not big pants. All right? Here's we go. Just because I work with you, don't mean we have to get along.
No, I know.
I'm a pro. And if I see somebody come through that door that's going to help me reach my goals, you best believe I'm all in.
But to be fair, Aaron Rodgers hasn't done squat in the playoffs for the last since he won the Super Bowl a decade ago. Hasn't done squat, and he never gets killed for it, which is ridiculous.
Would you take him?
Of course I'd take him. Wait a second. Here, did I say he was a bad quarterback?
Russell Wilson's the same guy. He won a Super Bowl 10 years ago.
Did I say he was a bad quarterback?
Can I say something?
I'm just saying Patrick Mahomes got destroyed last year, and he's barely been in the league, been to the AFC Championship every year. Aaron Rodgers lost to the Niners at home in terrible weather, didn't do anything in that game.
A punt did get blocked.
Against the schlub and Jimmy Garoppolo, who someone told me yesterday at Brown Camp.
A punt got blocked.
Don't bring that up. He's on a roll.
Did Aaron Rodgers do anything in that game?
The punt got blocked, though.
Did he do anything in that game?
It was a block punt for a touchdown.
For a touchdown.
In a snow
game.
That is a momentum killer. Like, that takes all the energy away. So.
Aaron Rodgers chokes the playoffs every year. Go ahead.
Bill, you know. San Francisco got 11 guys on that field, too.
Yeah, but they don't have a quarterback.
It sound like it's only Aaron Rodgers.
No, I know that. They played well. But if he's a star quarterback, which he is, doesn't he have to play better?
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
And here's what kills me about sports.
Yeah.
Do we think differently of Bill Parcells if Scott Norwood makes a kick?
Wow.
Exactly.
Facts.
Because that means he has one Super Bowl and he's the same as Brian Billick.
Yep, you're right.
Wow. That's a good point.
So, a lot of other things going on a field except for what's going on at quarterback.
You can be great. Aaron Rodgers is great.
I don't disagree.
Now, here's what the problem is. Sometimes with Aaron Rodgers. You got to put it on you. Stop looking around.
That's right. You always blame someone else.
And so, from that standpoint, I have one play burned in my mind about Aaron Rodgers last year. Mm-hmm. It was 3rd or 4th down. He rolls out. There's nobody between him and the end zone, and he threw the ball instead of running.
That was 2 years ago, but I know
exactly
what
that was 2 years ago?
Yeah,
that is
it was Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And a lot of fans can't
forget
that.
I can't either. Because it was sad.
It's unexplainable.
At the end of the day, it's 4th and inches at worst case scenario, even if he didn't get it, and he decided to pass.
Right.
It was terrible.
Right.
Leroy, was you a big fan of the salt, like smelling salt when you played? I was.
Not really. Like, it's you know what it is? it's a football thing, right? Even as a little kid, it was like, ooh, smelling salts. Let's go. It's supposed to get you fired. Ah!
It did.
Smelling salts.
No, it
right?
does do that. It does do that.
I want to give
dude,
y'all a
dude.
disclaimer at home.
First of all,
if anybody is watching this at home,
The salt.
there's a difference between iodized salt, bath salt, and the salt they talk
This
about.
is like
Do
pneumonia
not-
we
It's a-
talking about.
Hey,
not conflate-
first of all, it's ammonia.
Okay.
It's ammonia.
Yeah.
And look, here's what you do. It's a little tube,
Yeah.
right?
break it.
With
Break
some
it.
cloth around it.
Yeah.
And then you break it, and then you sniff it. It's like, ah! Right? Look, I get it.
I don't want to be demonetized, so I don't know if they're actually talking about breaking anything and sniffing stuff. I would not try that. Yeah, can we get some Deshaun Watson stats at the bottom?
You've done smelling salts, though.
Hey,
smell
but
of
you know
salt?
what?
No.
You ain't the salt.
No.
Hey, it clears your
Hey,
sense. I mean,
listen,
it attacks your
if
sense.
you-
Well,
I use those
hey,
strips.
hey, the strips. Yeah, that's just as effective. You think you gonna open up your nose and get more air?
I got a big nose.
Me too. Me too.
The smelling
Like,
salts.
but you think?
Big
Hold on.
nose.
Clear
You
Hold
got
on.
a big nose.
Look
Look
at
at my
nose go from cheek to
You
cheek.
ain't got
It's
no
flat.
big nose. What are you talking about? Look
Right?
at this nose. Look at that nose.
You think I could put a little piece of tape on my nose that's gonna open things up? when I'm tired, I'm breathing out everything. I'm breathing out everything.
Leroy, I saw
There ain't
it.
no way.
Leroy, out of the running back rooms with the Browns, obviously only 3 of them makes the team. So who you think is the odd man out? 3?
I would say this. There is a way they could keep more.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So you're gonna keep
and
5 because they
here's
got to
why.
keep the fullback too.
I'm moving Felton to wide receiver.
Here's why.
What you mean? That's
Because those are also your special teams guys.
Yep.
it's still 5.
Johnson,
Right.
4.
I had in my running back room in Minnesota,
Stanton.
we had 6 guys and only 3 played.
Right.
Everybody else was special teams. When I was in Cleveland, everybody in the room played. Except for we had Randy Baldwin and a couple other guys that were special teams guys. They were return guys. But for the most part, you're talking about if you look at what's a position they keep extra guys? It's linebacker. It's running back. And you may keep either an extra receiver or extra DB because those are your special teams guys also.
Right.
And so it always, any guy that comes into the league, I would say, play a little special teams. You never know.
Should be.
Because sometimes the numbers just don't add up. And you got to be able to do something else.
Hey, Leroy.
They'll keep all 4 of these guys.
Yeah,
I agree.
Definitely.
I
definitely.
agree.
5 with Felton too.
If they
no,
get rid of
I
one
think
of them,
Felton's going to wide receiver.
Stanton is a fullback,
Who
and they got to
cares?
keep him.
Stanton's out of here.
He
You
got
don't have to keep him.
You got to keep a fullback.
Why?
So we don't run the
Why?
I formation no more.
No.
How many teams
Why?
carry fullbacks?
No.
not many.
Wow, y'all.
Hey.
No, there's only 1
Hey.
or 2.
That's true.
Listen,
We run the ball here. Though.
you don't need a fullback. A lot of times they use a tight end. A lot of times they use a
Exactly.
tight end. So you gonna hold a guy. Wait, you know what the great thing about football is? Here's where everybody's trying to get. Everybody's trying to get to versatility, right? So you can't have a guy on your team that does one thing.
Right.
You can't. Nobody does. If you
Unless
have a
you're the long
fullback, he
snapper.
either long
Charlie's
snapper,
the only guy that
or
can
he
catch
play
it.
all the special teams,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you have to be able to do multiple things because Bill Belichick used to have a thing. He says our roster's 53 guys, where we actually have 85 players because we have 30 of our guys that do a number of different things.
Yeah.
Being versatile it's the same thing about interior line, right? Usually you have a couple of guards, a couple of centers, but they all interchangeable. So if a center goes down, a guard can move over to center, or if a guard goes down, you can take your backup center and move him to guard.
Hell, Bill
All
had a
those
wide receiver play defensive back.
Yeah.
He had a linebacker play tight end. He did it all.
Right.
He moved
Right.
him.
Right. So be careful with, we need a fullback. No, you need somebody to play that position.
Not cutting a
You don't
more
necessarily
talented
need
player
somebody
for a
called the
fullback.
fullback.
Yeah.
And with Deshaun Watson, I wouldn't be surprised if they did more 3-4 wides, because guess what that's going to do? That's going to give Nick Chubb more room. That's going to give Nick Chubb more room.
Hey, Leroy.
Somebody got to make a decision.
The Browns are having joint practices with the Eagles this week. Right now, the Panthers are doing a joint practice with the Patriots. They actually had a big fight about an hour ago. We see these fights all the time. Baker Mayfield in the middle of it. A, do you like joint practices? You think it's a good idea? B, do you want your quarterback mixing it up because it makes him look tough? Or is it stupid because he's likely to get injured? What say you?
Again, I go back to Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
No matter how tough you try to look, you are now, if you're the quarterback and you get into something, your whole offense now has to go over. And that escalates the situation, right? So as a quarterback, you get guys back. You don't get involved in it because you're not thinking about you. You're thinking about your whole team, your whole squad. And you don't want that to escalate. I would say look, here's the people that fight. Okay, let's be clear. I'm going to break it down.
Yep.
There we go.
Linebackers and tight ends and defensive backs and wide receivers. Linebackers fight with tight ends because they ain't no officials at practice, so they be grabbing the hell out of them. And that's all you hear the whole practice. Stop grabbing me. Stop grabbing me. Next thing you know, they fight. DB's talking so much trash that eventually somebody just get mad and they just go at it.
It's the other way around, Leroy, but I hear you. Definitely the wide receivers.
Wide receivers what?
Talking the trash.
You saying DBs don't talk trash?
No, they do, but I'm saying that it escalates. We are reactive. They come out here and make a couple catches, and then, now the talking starts, so now we got to start,
Hey, wait. You got a DB in the league that got a list. And Jalen Ramsey. He making lists every year.
Chad had a list. What are you talking about? He started it.
You're right. Chad did have the list first.
Leroy, let me ask you this question. Do y'all know the difference? Because let me set this up. I think there's a couple people like this on this Browns team. Have you played with somebody, or do people in the locker room know if a person done really earned his position, or he just by default got the position due to some casualties? Maybe somebody got traded, maybe somebody, they want to give him the money, or maybe somebody done went down, and you like, man, this guy's, he running with the twos, but he really ain't no two. Or he running with the ones, and he ain't no one. Can y'all tell that? Because there's a couple dudes, I ain't going to say no names right now, Donovan Peoples-Jones. I ain't going to say no names right now, but, I mean, that's a default running with the team. They got him the number 2 receiver for no reason. He ain't earned that.
There is a lot of situations or circumstances in which I won't even call it don't deserve the job. I would say get opportunities. Okay? Either through injury, either through somebody on the staff sees your upside. Only thing that we care about on the field is whether you producing or not. So if Donald Peoples-Jones goes out there and he start dropping balls, now the coach has a responsibility to the other 10 men on the field. And that's where the problem comes in. Right? Like you can be supportive of your guy and see it through when he's struggling. But you also have a responsibility to the other guys on the field. And so you know those guys, but you don't think of it as he shouldn't be there. You think of it as he's there. We need him to do what he needs to do. Because it's all about winning. We ain't sitting back worrying about what your circumstances are, what your situation is, or why you there. But once you get there, now we're going to hold you accountable. So that's kind of how that goes. Because I'll tell you like this. Every opportunity I ever got, I wasn't the first choice. right? But guess what? Coach looked to his left, looked to his right, wasn't no running backs. I was the only one there.
Go do it.
You know, I say, look, my second year in the league, I had like 9 or 10 receiving touchdowns. You know what they did? They had so much faith in me, they drafted Tyler Vardell as the 9th pick in the draft.
That was crazy.
That was
right?
stupid.
I still can't believe that.
So I'm thinking, oh, they must think I'm terrible. So I say, well, we'll see, right? Season starts. They come to me. They want some money back, right? Had to give them some money back. I go play out the year. Tommy Vardell gets hurt. Old Bill Belichick got to look over to his right. And guess who's standing there? I said, yes, sir, I'm ready. Let me get my mouthpiece. I'm ready. And guess what? Made the Pro Bowl. So all these situations that you see, it's up to the player to handle it. The team, it's their responsibility to hold you accountable, the veterans. So you know, based on what you see on the field, whether that guy should be there. But I'm not going to say, you know, a guy got his job this way or got his job that way. It don't matter. Man, there's some weird. Wait, you think they were real confident when Kurt Warner took over?
Hell, Tom Brady for that matter.
Right.
Tom Brady
Right.
was draft pick 199, and Drew Bledsoe
Right,
was
but
the
that's what I'm
franchise.
saying. So you got to be careful with kind of using, you know, going that route. But I get what you're saying. Like, there are times, for example, that same year, the offensive line went to Bill and said he needs to carry the ball more. And they were talking about me. So that's the opposite of what you're talking about.
Right.
Right? But I'm more than sure there's been some guys that the quarterbacks, you know, I'm more than sure that Aaron Rodgers has gone to his coach or Tom Brady and say, I can't, this guy don't know what he's doing. You got to get him out of here.
Right.
So it happens, man, but it's all about being accountable. If you get an opportunity, you go out there and play and you contribute, we move on.
Yeah, who
It
cares
don't
how
matter
you
who
got
you
there?
are.
Just what matters
Right,
is what you do while
exactly.
you're there. Hey, Leroy,
Thanks,
we
Leroy.
got to go. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of the week. We'll catch you next week, man.
Go Bucks.
Leroy Hoard on the Ultimate Cleveland
Hey!
Sports Show.
Go Bucks.
I'm thinking I should sing some Bone Thugs on the way out. Wake up, wake up. Wait. It's the first of the month.
Thank you, Leroy. Peace, my man.
Later.
McNuggets just got